Hello there. Thank you for joining this lightning talk at the 2021 Code for All Summit. I'm Ibrahim Salim from Code for Pakistan and I welcome you all to this session. Today, we're going to talk about three topics that I'm really passionate about. Open source software, how governance can be improved through technology, and the KP Fellowship Program. I'll explain how these topics are related with each other in just a minute. But since we are going to be together for the next 7 minutes, I'll suggest that you grab yourself a cup of coffee so we can begin. The topic of my lightning talk is, can civic fellowships promote open source tech adoption in governments? And I'll be sharing a couple of case studies from the KP Fellowship Program. So let's get right into it.
The use of open source software, tools, and technologies are becoming increasingly crucial for governments around the world for the creation of software and infrastructure that is more open, transparent, and accessible. Open source software increases citizens' reach, giving citizens the ability to participate in a democratic and participatory manner for the services that matter to them the most. Moreover, it creates efficiencies in government processes and empowers governments by lowering the cost of software development and sustainability. And most importantly, it also increases government transparency. We live in an era of artificial intelligence, big data, crowdsourcing technologies, and social networks, which present the opportunity to redesign the governance systems around us and make them more open, transparent, and accessible. The public sector needs innovation, and that innovation can be fueled by open source technologies. We can say that open source technologies provide the railroads to digital governance. As citizen needs are evolving, there is a need to create open APIs for government. Government data is needed to be opened up, and there is massive potential for making apps and services on top of government data. There are several benefits of using open source technology in government. The agility and flexibility provided by free and open source software licenses creates an enabling environment for citizen participation. In particular, by using open source software, we can improve collaboration and citizen participation as government software becomes more accessible, bring agility in software development by reducing vendor dependence, lower costs for sustainability, and make software reuse and interoperability possible. These benefits mean that governments across the world are moving towards open source tech in an effort towards making government software open source and more accessible to the public. We have examples like the Code.us, Gov.uk, Singapore's Open Government Products Initiative, and the Open Government Platform, where governments are realizing the importance of open source software and open data and are taking active measures to introduce new platforms to facilitate their citizens. Pakistan has seen a surge in open source contributions in the past year, which can largely be attributed to the growing interest of the youth towards open source technologies and somewhat to the COVID-19 pandemic in how it compelled more people to work remotely. This resulted in an increase in developers making more open source software as well. According to GitHub's the 2020 State of October's report, Pakistan ranked 6th with an impressive 51.5% growth in open source contributions since last year. In contrast, if we talk about GovTech in Pakistan, then according to UN's E-Government Development Index, Pakistan was ranked 153 among 193 countries surveyed in 2020. Pakistan dropped 5 places since 2018, which necessitates a more in-depth assessment of the country's digital transformation strategy. Open source technologies can play a crucial role in enhancing Pakistan's ranking and as a result improving citizens' experiences with the government. In the past 5 years, the KP government has taken numerous measures to improve technology adoption, improve ICT infrastructure, and work on strategy and policy making to improve citizen facilitation through digital governance. The KP government has also passed laws such as the Right to Information Act, worked on the Good Governance Strategy, and the KP digital policy. However, there is still massive potential to push for more broader open source tech adoption within the government. At Code for Pakistan, we are working to create a civic innovation ecosystem in Pakistan. We have three main pillars we work in: e-government, open government, and citizen engagement. Under e-government, we have our fellowship programs. We do capacity building trainings for the government and develop different types of digital services and also focus on knowledge sharing. We also promote open source technologies, opening of government data, and working on transparency promoting initiatives. Lastly, at the heart of so much of what we do is civic engagement, which we execute through our civic innovation labs in various cities, the most active of which are in Islamabad and Peshawar. We also run civic hackathons, hack days, and app challenges. One of our flagship programs is the KP Government Innovation Fellowship Program. The KP Fellowship Program is a 6-month program supported by Code for Pakistan, the KPIT Board, and the World Bank. The program brings together citizen technologists and the government to build solutions that inspire civic engagement, improve public services, build government capacity, and evoke cultural change in how the government works. Using open source technologies is a priority at the fellowship program. We rely on open source software frameworks, databases, data management systems, content management systems for web, desktop, and mobile software development to create software that is open source and can be published using open source licenses. I am going to share 3 case studies of high impact open source solutions developed under the KP Fellowship Program. An open data portal was developed using open source data management system CCAN for the proactive disclosure of government data. The open data portal provides access to over 1200 government datasets and gives citizens the ability to access relevant data in numerous data formats. Another successful open source solution was the pharmaceutical license online registration system developed for the KP Health Department. The system digitized the issuing and renewing of pharmacy licenses and facilitated the digitization of 15,000 records of qualified pharmacists across KP. Since its launch in January of 2021, over 1150 pharmaceutical licenses have been issued digitally using the online system. The PSRA e-registration system developed for the Private School Regulatory Authority has facilitated the online registration of over 9,000 schools, while close to 6,000 schools have renewed their registration since its launch in 2019. Aside from these 3 impactful solutions, I would also like to share the overall impact of the KP Fellowship Program. Over 1 million users have been served through 37 digital solutions developed for 26 government departments of KP. All of these solutions are open source and are accessible on GitHub. Since 2014, we have completed 6 cycles of the program where 107 fellows have graduated from the program. We have trained 378 government officials and approximately 84,500 hours have been saved in government processing time through automation and digitization. At Code for Pakistan, we are committed to promoting open source software development and regularly share the source code of all our projects. You can visit our GitHub page to access our open source projects. With this, I would like to conclude today's talk. The KP Fellowship Program has been successful in promoting open source technology adoption within the KP government. Today, we are close to launching the 7th cycle and have also scaled the fellowship model at the federal level. We are hopeful that we can continue to promote open source technology adoption within the government and make government services more accessible and transparent. We would also like to thank the Code for All team for giving us a great platform to share our journey, and also to everyone who joined today's session. You can learn more about our work on our website or by following us on social media. Thank you for tuning into this lightning talk. Take care.